With this documentary, you gather information about the private and public life of Walter Mercado. So now that you have a wider perception of who he was, could you describe him with one word?
Fabulous.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most obvious word is love. He embodies that more than anything. You know, people always say never to meet your heroes because they'll always disappoint you. I think Walter is the rare exception to that rule. He was a person who was so full of love. He cared more about the well-being of other people in the room than he cared about himself.
I would also just say fabulous, to be honest. Yeah, that's the one that popped in my mind first.
Okay, and how about Kareem?
Yeah, the reason I said fabulous is because I think that you could be wonderful and beautiful physically and really ugly inside, and Walter was completely fabulous with all of the over-the-top look, but he was, as Cristina says, he was so full of love. That's what truly made him fabulous.
What was one thing that surprised you the most about private Walter Mercado?
I think honestly, we all underestimated Walter a bit. We knew Walter was, fun and over the top, and he had these amazing capes, and we thought he was going to be a larger than life personality. But I don't think we knew how smart he was. He was one of the best read people we've ever met. He has read books on, his whole house is full of books and books and books, and he knows about every religion. He can recite, monologues that he gave when he was a teenager from heart. But he used the physical, all this kind of flashy stuff to get us to really pay attention, and it was a deliberate choice for him. He knew that he would call them stupid things, and he knew that these stupid things were very important for him to be able to teach us. And he went on television and he taught the Latin community every week, and oftentimes he would do a week on Hinduism, a week on Islam, a week on Buddhism, and he would tell all the astrological signs through those religions. So he was always teaching, and he was even though he seems very campy and fabulous, there's a lot of really he's very brilliant, and it was all a very considered and thought out choice that he was making.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How about Alex and Kareem?
I would say that, one of the things that was so stuck with me is that Walter, who we saw on the TV every day, was who he was when the TV was off, in the sense that passion, that humor, that love, that hopeful, inspiring spirit was who he was. Maybe with a little less sequence when the cameras are off, but he had this larger than life personality always. I mean, we spent so much time with him in 2 years, and I don't think that there's ever a moment that we were in his presence that you didn't feel that he just had this kind of otherworldly sense. And I don't think you had to believe in anything to just kind of realize how special he was. And I think what made him so special is he loved himself a great deal, and he had a great sense of self, but he loved you even more. And he had the ability to make you feel like you were not only the most important person in the room, but that you were the most important person in the world. And that was, I think everybody who ever met him and spent any time with him would tell you the same thing.
I would just add that I think Walter, some people are very dismissive of astrology as like a pseudoscience or whatever it is. And Walter's one of the most educated, smartest people that I've been around. And I think that's often lost on people.